Welcome back to an audience of one by JannahVersity, in which we deliver spiritually uplifting and motivational content to individuals who need a reminder that they have worth and value and a gift that they need to share with the world once they recognize their true potential, and that no matter how many mistakes you've made, that it's never too late to make today the day that you change your life. As you move forward, working towards the various goals that you have in your life with regards to your spiritual, physical, financial, communal, and personal goals, you're going to obviously need a plan of attack. Sure, you can just wake up every day and go to work, but having a plan is going to make you much more effective in your efforts. But this plan that you come up with is going to need to be executed with consistency, because it's through the consistent effort day in and day out where we see the progress and eventual success of accomplishing those goals that we set out to accomplish. Most of the time you fail within the first couple of days because you can't maintain consistency. And you often lack consistency because your plan is too rigid. You have a lot going on and you have a lot of goals. You're trying to do big things and you're not satisfied with, let me get a job, wake up at 7, have breakfast, maybe work out, go to work, suffer through the office hours, come home, eat, watch Netflix, sleep, and then rinse and repeat. You want more. And quite frankly, you owe it to yourself to make more of yourself. You're trying to chase physical excellence. You're trying to learn skills. You're trying to push yourself intellectually. You're trying to mold a person of spiritual excellence with moral character. You want to start a business. You want to help people. You want thriving relationships with your spouse and your children and your community. And so there's a lot of tasks that you need to accomplish each and every day in order to make all of these different goals a reality. But at the same time, all of those goals are competing for time. And at the same time, you need to work, and the people in your life have their own demands, and then you have your own mental state to contend with and the desire to at the very least relax, if not quit altogether. And while all of this is going on, it can be hard to fit all that you need to ideally do to accomplish your goals in a single day. You take all the tasks that you need to accomplish in any given day and you try to schedule them out, and you find that you'd need 36 hours in a day to accomplish everything you need to accomplish. Now, some people are going to tell you that maybe you need to drop some of your goals. And while that may be true, you might not be able to work on all of these different skills or projects at one time. Maybe you have to choose boxing over wrestling, for example, or starting one business idea versus the other. But you're not a one-dimensional person, and there are certain goals that relate to your person or the people that you care about that can't just be sidelined until you complete whatever it is that you may be working on. Sure, if you're in your early 20s and you're single with no responsibilities, you can get tunnel vision and just grind out the work for the big dream relentlessly like a person obsessed. But if you have family, especially dependents, and your big dream isn't already paying your rent and the rest of your bills, you're going to have to fight multiple battles at one time. So you need to have a plan for executing all of the tasks that are required to accomplish your goals. But you have to have a two-tiered plan where you're going to have a plan for what your goal is for any given task at an optimal level, and a plan for a minimum non-negotiable level. So for example, you're trying to get in a peak physical condition. You want to complete another ultra race. You want to fight at an amateur level. So you're going to need to exercise every day. Ideally, you want to run 5 miles a day, and you want to lift weights, and you want to do a mobility routine, and you want to get in your boxing drills, and you need to stretch and fit in physical therapy. That's going to be 3 to 5 hours of exercise and maintenance. And on some days, you're going to pull it off. But some days things are just going to get in the way. You're traveling, you've got other events going on, an emergency situation comes up, you get sick, or any of the other random events that makes the catchphrase, life happens. So you have to have a plan for, at the very least, you're getting some form of exercise that helps you maintain that consistency. So instead of putting in an hour of lifting weights, your minimum non-negotiable is that you get in 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, and 30 pull-ups. Now that may vary depending on your level, and that minimum may increase or decrease, but whatever it is, it has to be something that you can say 100% I can get done no matter what. It shouldn't be so simple that it's of no benefit, but definitely something that you can squeeze in for 10 to 15 minutes. Another example is that you want to train for an ultra. For that, you need to be putting in miles. You need to be running 5 to 7 miles a day during the week and 10 to 20 miles on the weekend. But that's hard to maintain with everything else that you've got going on. And so normally when you can't get in that 5-mile run, you just say, oh, I can't get it in today. But that skipping of a day becomes a week and then a month, to the point where you're not even capable of running 5 to 7 miles a day anymore. And although running just a mile seems like it's not moving the needle when you need to be running 5 to 7 a day, but it's the consistency that is going to get you the results. Because look at where you are now. You're not running at all because you've set yourself an all or nothing mentality. But I guarantee you, if it was a mile a day, no matter what, not only would you get in that mile, but some days you'd be running 3 to 5 instead of just running none at all. You're also trying to stay consistent with boxing. You need to be putting in 13 rounds a day between the heavy bag, the double end bag, and the tennis ball. You've also got footwork drills that you need to be doing. But with everything you've got going on, some days you're just not going to have the time. So you have to have a minimum, non-negotiable. That might be shadow boxing for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. Now, instead of putting in an hour, you've got yourself a 10-minute contingency plan. Is it the perfect situation? No, of course not. But that 10 minutes every day added up is hours and days of work over an extended period of time, which is going to far outweigh getting in 1 good hour session every other month when you can find the time to do it right. Ideally, you want to read 100 pages a day. Some days you're not going to have time. So you're going to say that no matter what, I'm going to read 5 pages or even a page a day. So on your best day, you're putting in an hour or more towards reading, but no matter what, you have to find 15 minutes or even 5 minutes somewhere to read a few pages. And that's something you should be able to do consistently and something that you should be able to make a non-negotiable. This does a couple of things for you. First is that it keeps the momentum going. When you fail to stick to your plan, it's so much easier to just walk away from it altogether. When you're consistent in this example of reading, it also keeps the ideas fresh in your mind. Otherwise, when you only read whenever you can put in a solid hour, and that happens every 7 to 10 days, then you start to lose the ideas and the flow of the book, forcing you to reread what you've already read, which wastes time and kills motivation, and puts you in a position where the book ends up collecting dust. The same concept can be applied to any of the skills that you're trying to learn or practice. You're trying to write poetry, or you want to learn how to fly drones, or how to shoot, or whatever other skill that you're working on. And you get caught up in this idea that you need to put in an hour of practice in order for it to be effective, but then life gets in the way. And trying to find that hour a week or that hour a day becomes difficult, resulting in you skipping that practice for days or weeks or God forbid months. You're working on your channel and you script 2 to 3 videos a day, or you record 2 to 3 videos a day, or edit 2 to 3 videos a day, depending on that day. And you want to publish shorts and reels. And you have all of these tasks that on a good day, maybe you accomplish all these things. But good days are hard to come by, and there's always something that comes up. Sometimes you got to pick up the kids, or you want to go to one of their games or meets. Sometimes you got to get the car repaired. There's all of these distractions in life that can't be avoided, that are out of your control. Again, you have to have a contingency plan for when you can't get all of the work that you want to get done. On top of your personal goals, be it in fitness or in education or towards your businesses, you still have family and relationships that you want to maintain and develop. So you want to spend 30 minutes with your spouse. You want to spend individual time with each of your kids. Too many people wait all year to spend time with their kids on a single vacation and can't figure out why the relationship isn't there. You'd be better off just making 5 minutes a day, be it a simple check-in on how things are going, or 5 minutes playing speed chess or going for a walk or whatever it is that they may be into. But again, what type of relationship are you going to develop when the only time you can spend time is when the time is perfect? Your experience up until this point in your life is that doesn't exist. Sure, it would be great to spend an hour or 2 every day with each kid or with your spouse, but that's just not happening. So don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Take what you can take and build on that. You can't be too rigid in your plan. Rather, you have to plan for adversity and incorporate flexibility, because there are going to be days where there are no distractions and everything aligns and you accomplish all that you need to accomplish. And it's a great day. But those days are the exception to the rule, and therefore you have to plan for the mayhem that life throws at you. And know that you have your ideal sessions, be it in the gym or in the library or in the lab, but you're most likely going to get your work done through those consistent actions in the minimum required category. This is going to keep your practices alive and consistent to the point that they're going to become the habits that are part of your everyday life that grants you success in all of your endeavors. That's because your success is not going to come from that 1 3-hour workout where you nearly puke from going all out. Your knowledge isn't going to be from that night where you went to sleep late because you studied for an extra 3 hours. Your spiritual development isn't going to come from 1 3-hour prayer session. Your success is going to come from the consistency day in and day out, even if it's from small actions. So long as they are done every day and every week, that's what's going to make the difference.